Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions. This is our second episode. We are now on the board with our first one, Graham. Did you see that?
Woohoo! Yeah. Finally uploaded
right.
it after like 4
Yeah.
attempts of recording a first episode.
Don't tell people that because they're going to be like, really? That was the fourth attempt and you put out that hot piece of garbage? Oh, Jesus. Like, maybe I've taken a fifth attempt. Would have been a better idea.
Fifth attempt in like 3 years. Don't worry. It took us time.
Yeah, it took time. But anyway, if you're watching this, thank you so much for coming back and watching and enjoying the content. Hopefully, we are back. Let me introduce myself for those who haven't seen the first episode. My name is Corey. I'm your Drunk Thoughts.
And my name is Graham. I'm your High Opinions. Cheers.
How high are you, Graham?
You know, I have to tell you, about 40 minutes ago, I was so high that for the first time in like a year, I got paranoid. I don't usually get paranoid anymore when I smoke weed, which I know is a problem for a lot of people.
You're a pretty functioning stoner, like amazingly functioning.
Yeah, I don't get paranoid. But today, I don't know what happened. I smoked a pretty fat bowl about an hour ago. And after 20 minutes, I'm sitting here like, oh God, the walls are closing in. And now I'm fine.
With the walls singing too in that timbre? Is that a nice vibrato to it?
Thank you. The walls were singing, but I also just attribute that to my schizophrenia.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
Moving on.
This week we're talking about... Last week, we talked about the PlayStation State of Play.
Wait, this week we're talking about last week?
No, sorry. I should back up a bit. Last week, we spoke about the PlayStation State of Play. This week, we're staying a little bit on topic, but we're going to a competitor. We're talking the Xbox Bethesda Showcase. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right?
Yes. Yeah. Microsoft... just unveiled their big, what would have been their E3 showcase, getting up, throwing up, it was an hour and a half. I couldn't believe it when I pulled up the video. Sony had a really nice compact 33 some odd minutes show with just a great slew of wonderful games. Microsoft comes in with a feature length fucking film of an hour and a half with content. Now granted,
to be fair, PlayStation showed, PlayStation showed us about 6-7 things, and by my count, pardon me. By my count, the Xbox Bethesda Showcase gave us about 37 products
in a row. 37.
Yeah, little Kevin Smith joke to the listeners out there. Yeah, it gave us about 37 different products. Now, there was 3 products I think that were continuations of previous. Not necessarily IPs, but previous games. So like the Sea of Thieves DLC, for instance, and the Arcane, League of Legends, like that whole thing, Riot Games, that's all old games. So basically 37 items, but about 33 games in total, new games being shown. So pretty impressive.
New or, ones that we had heard of, but, seeing some gameplay for the first time. There was a couple of world premieres in there. There was probably like 5 or 6 world premieres, but yeah, there was a several just like, here's some add-ons to games you already know and love, including Riot Games with League of Legends and their slew. They had League of Legends, Legend of Runeterra, Team Fit Tactics, and Valorant. We saw Rare Sea of Thieves with their Season 7 to a jaunty little tune. That was amazing. I was really impressed with that.
That was very fun.
We saw a new expansion for Elder Scrolls Online, the High Isle, I think it was called.
Yeah, that actually...
I think that was also what you're doing this evening.
Yeah, that fun. Wordplay. Yeah, you did a fun thing with a play.
You see what I did there?
Words. So, as you know, I actually really like Elder Scrolls Online. I have put, I think, on Steam.
You just like Elder Scrolls in general.
I like Elder Scrolls in general. We'll get to that later during the Starfield's uncanning.
You just like to spoil the big game at the end every time.
But yes, I do. I really do. But the important thing here is that I like Elder Scrolls, and I've really liked Elder Scrolls Online, despite its negative feedback initially. I really liked the game. I grew to love it more and more over time, and so for the first time leaving Tamriel, the continent of Tamriel, and going to a completely new place, color me intrigued because I've always loved the lore. I've always been fascinated by the building of the worlds, and I was honestly expecting that we were going to go to like Akavir or something, but going to this, of course, it's flying over Corey's head. He has no fucking clue. But I was hoping we'd go to Akavir. Probably not going to
I
happen.
remember Morrowind, everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
I played
They talk about
Morrowind.
Akavir a little bit in Morrowind, but
I don't remember that. I just went around and like stole shit.
fair enough. But anyway, this is actually cool, exciting. I'm hoping that it adds some new lore. But it's not Elder Scrolls 6, so we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else did they announce?
Well, we started off with the new first person shooter Redfall, coming from Arcane Studios, one of the studios a part of Bethesda. And I gotta say, this game looks like a lot of fun. It kind of was like Borderlands meets the Blade series, where you've got a co-op team running around this Massachusetts town, just shooting vampires. Really goofy, witty, comedic timing with some really colorful graphic ability. And I'm not a big vampire hunter guy, but this game looked fun. Just like
Yeah.
a good like multiplayer co-op fun.
I'm gonna agree with you on that. It wasn't the thing that
Well, thank you.
excited me the most, but it was
No, by no means.
but it was fun, you know?
It just it was a good way to kick off the show with this. They do make a quality shooter, Arcane.
Absolutely.
And it usually does a lot of, they're known for taking risks with new game styles and new gameplay elements that typically pan out for them. Dishonored 1 and 2 are very unique in their
Very unique.
the abilities that Corvo had. So I'm excited to see where this goes. We also got a little bit more of a look to a sequel to a very big game that's close to a lot of people's hearts, Hollow Knight, Silk Song.
Yes. I
I know you like this
truly
one.
loved Hollow Knight 1. I have not beaten it because I am actually like I can't get past an essential boss, which is the second version of oh crap, I'm high. I forgot her name. Hornet.
Pothole.
Hornet, the girl who we will be playing as, the princess of the Bug Kingdom, who will be playing as in Silk Song. She is. You fight her like 3 times in the first game, and the second time around, holy shit!
I'm trying to remember if I got that far.
It's like by my save file, it's like 25 to 35 hours into the game. That I don't know if it's 25 or 35. That's just how long I've been there, I think.
Fair enough.
So anyway, I love Hollow Knight. I want to beat it. I will beat it eventually, and I'm so excited for Silk Song. It looks like the game they originally set out to make, but realized that they were novice game developers and were like, okay, let's take this slow. Let's make this simple, and then once we've like got this, I think we can take it to the next step. And I'm so excited for Hollow Knight because the mechanics look so much more intricate than in the first game.
The original.
Yeah, the original. Okay. It's very much just 4-directional, one like slashing in any direction, and then you have a couple more abilities, and you can use them however you will, but it's very much stationary. Like your character has to be stationary to use a lot of their abilities. This game feels like it's almost encouraging you to stay in the air.
Yeah, almost kinetic. Yeah, I got that impression from when I played the first game. I haven't beaten the first one either. I think I'm like maybe 15, 20 hours into it, and I got to a point where I was just wandering around and didn't know what to do or where to go, and a little bit lost interest. But it is a game that's kind of stuck a thorn in my head of like, I want to go back to that game because it is a really fun and interesting game. So Silk Song definitely is more of the same, which is a good thing, but making the changes that will make, that'll elevate it from a good game to a great game. So I know a lot of the fans are excited for that one. And something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Um, what else did they drop? Oh. This one you'll appreciate. High on Life. That's the name of the game, not your lifestyle. Dramatic
I
pause.
really
Dramatic
like
pause.
I really like this game. Did you ever play or interact at all with Grover Saves the Universe?
I did not because it's a VR game and I have no VR
It
system.
was not a required VR game. Yes, it was strongly
Hmm.
recommended, but my brother actually played it. I found out about it through him when I was still, not interacting with the game world as much, and he played it, and holy shit, was it fun! It looked amazing, and it was just Justin Roiland madness,
Justin Roiland, famously one of the co-creators and writers of Rick and
and the
Morty.
voice of Rick and Morty. Um,
That guy's
that guy is
ridiculous.
ridiculous, and I want him to be my best friend. But anyways, sorry, Corey, get out.
Wait, whoa. Whoa. I take
You take
umbrage with this.
Dolores?
Call back.
This game looks like more of that ridiculous fun that was in Grover Saves the Universe, and so I'm all here for it. And it seems like it's not just Justin Roiland doing the
Oh
voice.
no, they brought a
They
bunch of
brought a
people.
bunch of
Yeah.
people in, and it seems really exciting because they all like. I was loving some of their voice lines even more than his, and that's a rare thing in a Justin Roiland project. Is oftentimes he is the one saying some of the funniest lines in the shows. It's always a great gem when you find the person who says something way funnier than him.
I mean, the first one that stood out to my head was, so you're watching this game, you're watching the trailer, and the guns have faces on them, and they like tell you what to do. Or all the weapons, actually, not just the guns. I mean, at one point we had a knife that was like, stab, stab, more knifing, yeah, stab. But the first voice that I heard beyond Justin Roiland's was a gun that was voiced by JB Smooth.
Yes.
I was
Yes,
like,
that's who it was.
yes,
I was like, I
I'm here
know
for
who it
this.
is. I know who it is. I was like, curb your enthusiasm.
Exactly. So this just like it definitely comes to the mind of Justin Roiland, just off the wall bonkers and ridiculousness. And as you said, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah, this is gonna be just an over the top ridiculous game that you just won't be able to play sober. Because where's the fun in that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, what did you think of the next game that was on the reveal, A Plague Tale Requiem?
It looked fantastic in terms of like aesthetic and graphics. Felt very emotional. I mean, it's a sequel to a very popular game, A Plague Tale, and yeah, that's about all I had for it. Great game. Didn't look like anything I'll be clamoring to my local GameStop to purchase anytime
That's
soon. But
fair.
definitely looked solid. But I did love, just from a filmmaking perspective, was the use of slur my words, match cuts to go from one segment to the next. So like we saw her crawling under a table, and then like as she kept crawling, it suddenly cut to her crawling in a field. So
Yeah.
she stayed the same, but the environment
And when
changed. So these
she
match cuts or jumping through a window.
hops
And
through a window, it cuts into a different location that she's at. Yeah.
so I will give credit where credit's due to the editors of that trailer,
Yeah.
because that was freaking awesome.
I never played a Plague Tale. I'm slurring my words now too. It's an infection, and the only prescription I need is more cowbell. Anyway, I never played a
I have
Plague
egg
Tale.
shakers.
Okay, well the only I never played a Plague Tale, but this one
You
looks
said that now
very interesting.
3 times.
3 times. I've said it 3 times. And I'll say it again. No, I never played it. This one
What I
intrigued
think
me
of you.
because the world is. It reminds me of The Witcher, but with the mechanics of The Last of Us or Uncharted, both of which I loved. So I'm all for it. I have obviously, since I haven't played the first game, people are probably gonna be like, "Yeah, that's exactly what the game is." I have no idea.
Or they're
I
gonna be
assume.
like, "You're a fucking idiot. Go smoke more weed."
Exactly. And my response.
Fair enough. All right. Mm. Oh God. Put a
God.
little extra rum in that, and just did the trick. So
Yeah.
amazing.
But next up, what did you think of the Forza Horizon? Oh, sorry, not Forza Horizon. Forza
Jumping ahead,
Motorsport.
Graham.
Yeah. Forza Motorsport.
Yeah,
Yeah, getting
because
confused.
we needed 2 Forza games, I guess.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course.
This one to me was just a big old bucket of okay. I'm not into the realistic driving simulator games. Like, I'm a shit driver out on the road. Why do I want to be a shit driver in a video game? Like, whatever. But this game definitely seemed like they were pretty high and mighty on one big thing. I think they must have said dynamic weather that changes with the times. Like, not only is there time of day, but like dynamic weather itself too. But on the tracks, all the tracks. I mean, they must have fucking said that like 6 times.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe, being a northern Michigander, where I grew up. My only question is, does that mean they're going to be fucking black ice? Because I certainly hope so.
Yeah. I grew up in Yakima, Washington. Same question. Winter, black ice is like literally the biggest problem. We only get snow every other year, but we get black ice every year.
I mean, the game looked good, and I'm sure the fans of driving simulators love these games, and that's all well and good. So nothing personal, but I mean, I used to play Need for Speed, and those were fun games because it was basically a Fast and the Furious simulator. But beyond that,
yeah.
Moving on.
Next thing they announced was Microsoft Flight Simulator, as opposed to their extravagant reveal of Forza. This one was very, very reserved, just kind of like, hey, new one out. For the fact it was a 40th anniversary. That was what got me. I was like, this is a 40th anniversary.
Microsoft oldest,
and it was like a minute long.
Oldest running IP for video game.
Oldest long.
I mean, I remember back like Windows simulator, back on like Windows 98, the flight simulators back in the day. I remember my brother got really big into those games. He wanted to be a pilot for a stretch of time. So he bought the games, he bought the joystick and everything to go with the PC. And I can, in Microsoft's defense, to be fair, the whole, in my opinion, like, I've never done these flight simulator games, but what I've always seemed to me was like these games are kind of like, whereas Forza is a racing game and it's an adrenaline rush, the flight simulators are more of a cathartic, almost meditative game where you get up in the air and you're flying around, you're seeing wonderful landscapes. And this game was really showing like the wide range of air vehicles you can pilot. We had everything from like an Airbus, Boeing 747 to like Spirit of St. Louis, helicopters and everything. So, I mean, I think a more toned down, realistic, and relaxed trailer kind of works for it. So just giving it the benefit of the doubt. Like, I think that's the type of game it's going for. It's not meant to be like a dogfighting flight simulator where you're shooting down Nazis or some shit.
No.
It's just kind of like a...
You must understand me, sir. I agree with everything you said. I think I was complimenting their reveal there.
Fair enough.
For being 40 years old, for this being the 40th anniversary of the original game, the fact that it was like less than 2 minutes long to reveal that, and then like an extra 30-40 seconds to reveal that they'd added Halo DLC for it. For giving that sin, just that like reserved like under 2 minutes reveal, I was like, wow. And they gave 16 minutes to Starfield. Todd Howard really likes to hear himself talk.
You're jumping ahead.
Sorry.
Remember, you gotta buy us dinner first. You gotta buy us some drinks first before we go to bed. We gotta lead up to it. We gotta have a nice foreplay. Come on. We'll get to Starfield, you horny bastard.
Okay.
All right.
We'll get there.
Don't jump the gun.
We'll get there.
Don't jump the gun.
We'll get there.
Overwatch 2, Blizzard's sequel to its first-person shooter multiplayer extravaganza that, in my opinion, got way too popular. But Fuck me, right?
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to back up like 10 seconds. I was coughing and lost total control of my brain.
Overwatch 2. We're
Overwatch
moving
2.
forward. Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2. There we go.
I'm not backing this
I
shit up.
played.
So move forward with me.
All right. I played, as you know, a lot of Overwatch 2. There was a time in my life where that was pretty much all I played. Sorry, Overwatch 1. I'm high. I'm very high. There was a time it was.
It tends to happens here on Drunk Thoughts on High Opinions.
It's a good thing. In fact, it helps with the high opinions.
All right, Martha Stewart.
It helps with the high opinions.
It's a good thing.
Anyway, my point was, I played a lot of Overwatch, and during that time, I saw the ups and downs. I played during basically for about 6 added heroes. I just bumped the microphone there. Through 6 added heroes, basically. I was there from Brigitte being added to Echo. And during that time, that game changed rapidly. I was excited for Overwatch 2, and then I was very much not. And that's mostly because of Activision Blizzard's internal shit show. That company has proven itself to be very bad, and frankly, I don't care to support them anymore.
And now they're first party with Microsoft.
Yeah, I don't love it. Don't love it.
No, that means not my fucking problem.
Yeesh. But,
well, spoilers. This is not the last time we're going to be talking about Blizzard Entertainment. So,
oh, I know, but I'll probably do.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
We'll just play that same thing back every time.
Yeah, I'll just cut the clip and play it again. I don't like Activision Blizzard.
I don't like it. Just to reiterate,
because
I'll just put that here. Just to reiterate, cuts back into the.
Yeah, just loop it. We'll fix it in post, right? Right.
We'll fix it in post.
Every filmmaker who's watched this just hates us right
you're
now.
The one doing the post.
Fuck me. Moving on. Ara, History Untold by Oxide Games. Didn't really get a whole lot out of this game except some pretty cool transitions, and I think they said it's a real-time strategy. I thought it was Civilization, to be honest. I thought it was like an expansion of the next Civilization game.
Yeah.
And then it was like Ara, History Untold, and I was like,
literally thought it was Civilization 7 as the until it said Ara, History Untold. I just was thinking Civilization 7, Civilization 7, Civilization 7. Wait, it's just gonna be Civ 7.
I was like Civilization, and then hesitated. What number are we on?
Yeah. Well, you know,
yeah.
When Civ 7 does eventually come out, it's just gonna be called Civ 7.
Civ 7?
No, Civ 7.
Civ 7.
Yeah, Civ 7. Because it was Civ 5, Civ 6, and Civ 7 is just kind of like long. It needs to be two, you know. What's the fucking word for it?
It smokes the joint or it gets the hose again.
It needs to be 2 syllables, so Civ 7.
Christ almighty. We talked about Elder Scrolls Online already, so we're going to just skip past that and move right into the other big Bethesda IP that they are desperately trying to keep alive, even though it just looks like a hot piece of garbage. And my personal drunk thought, Fallout 76.
Yeah. Well, I like
Graham, do you have high opinions on this one?
Of course I do. I have opinions on everything.
I know. Jesus Christ.
Fallout. I like Fallout. I don't love it. I like Fallout. Fallout 76 looks like
you like it as a friend,
Fallout,
you know, you kind of see it once in a while.
Exactly 4 hours of, and I thought it was terrible. And that was after like they had I didn't play it until they had released like 3 or 4 expansions, and Jason Mewes was a voice actor in it, and even at that point I was like, wow, this game sucks. It sucks.
Even this trailer just didn't look great. I mean, there was like some graphics that looked bad.
It looks like a 2013 game.
Yeah, it kind of does. It does not look like a 2022 game. And I mean, I couldn't tell. Was it an expansion, I guess, in the pit, which apparently is Pittsburgh? And not knowing anything about the franchise, so I probably sound like an idiot right now, more than I normally do. I mean, let's face it, I always sound like an idiot. But wasn't Pittsburgh the like locale for one of the
I think
first original
I think
games?
it was the first game. That's why it's the
Yeah.
25th anniversary, and it's a big deal that they're going back. Because I've played a bit of the first game, and I just remember like the pit being talked about a lot, even from the right at the beginning.
Okay. So anyway, going back to Pittsburgh, good for them. Best of luck, Todd Howard, because you're just looking for more of a paycheck, and that's what you need.
No, honestly, I feel like Todd Howard is not involved in Fallout 76 at all. When he's involved in a game, it turns out to be semi good. Fallout
Fair.
76 is just garbage.
Fair.
I will give Todd Howard that. He makes games not absolute shit.
Don't mind me.
Oh, I'm not. I'm watching. Feeling relieved?
Well, keep the. How about you vamp? How about you vamp a little bit and cover a brother while he makes a drink? Like, fucking A.
Anyway, as my good friend Corey here makes his beverage, we're gonna move on to the next subject, which I know he is not going to want to talk about. Actually, you know what? You do want to talk about this because it's Forza Horizon 5. And you know what my only note about this game was? The about the
That the
trailer?
Hot Wheels
Yeah.
edition was amazing.
No, the only thing that I had a problem with this was my only note, unforgivable cover of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. My God, was that song horrible. It was that
How
horrendous.
dare
No,
you?
how dare
That was
you?
Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. An amazing ska punk cover band.
Unforgivable.
Oh,
Well,
fuck
first
you
of all,
so
ska.
hard. All right. For this to work, you're gonna have to not say shit like that.
No deal. I'm sorry.
Well, fuck you with a big rusty pole and a splintery post.
That's fine, as long as I can still voice my concerns about ska and everything
What is it to be concerned about?
everything it does to society.
It's fast-paced reggae with horns. Like, it's amazing. There's no concern necessary. It combines like it is the foundation of many musical stylings that you enjoy.
It's
You're wrong, and
it's
go
like
fuck yourself.
Scientology, you know?
It's like
the
whoa there, Tom Cruise.
It's like the Scientology of music genres. It's like nobody wants in there, but people who are in there are like stuck and can't get out and are followed by it for years.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I don't give a shit what you think about that. It's amazing. But the game Forza Horizon 5, I'm going to move on for the sake of our friendship. And you better hope by the end of this, I'm not too drunk to kick your ass through a computer screen, because I'll certainly try it.
I'll just leave studio. There's the buttons right there.
Oh, fighting words.
I'm non-confrontational.
Exactly. So I'll kick your ass. And you're not going to do anything about it.
No, but I can run faster.
Pacifist bitch.
But I can run faster.
I don't think we ever proved that. I'd like to prove that at some point.
I was.
You smoke so much weed, your lungs are garbage.
True.
And I have asthma, so it takes a lot for me to say that.
Pinch. Actually, my lungs
in
are
a pinch,
great.
You're gonna start wheezing.
My lungs are great. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Holding your breath underwater.
Anyway, the next game on the agenda for them was Arc 2, and I have zero thoughts about this because I've tried Arc 1 and it's a game.
Yeah, it was a game. There's dinosaurs. You tame dinosaurs. I've never played it, so opinions are little, or thoughts, opinions, comments, questions, queries, whatever.
However, Scorn interested me.
Scorn looks badass.
Yeah, like very H.R. Giger inspired, the German expressionist artist who
designed the original Alien.
He worked on the original Alien, and before that was on Jodorowsky's team to adapt Dune in 1975. Yeah, so in a way, this game we can attribute to Alejandro Jodorowsky's 1975 failed Dune.
All right, that's a stretch. All right, get off your fucking high horse on Jodorowsky's Dune. All right, it never happened. It didn't get made for a fucking
I
reason. We got David Lynch's version. Now we got
I
Denis
know
Villeneuve's.
we
Move
could have
on.
had a 14 we could
Move
have had a
on.
14-hour Dune.
Move the fuck on. Get over it. That was back in the 70s. Scorn looks like a fantastic game. It looks like fucking Doom, not Dune,
Doom
Doom
on a badass
with a very
spaceship.
gothic and violent
Yeah.
and very very badass aesthetic.
Yeah.
I remember when this game was first being like, I don't even think there was part of Microsoft at the point, but they they were working on it like 2 or 3 years ago, and I saw Facebook videos for it. It just looks badass.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, I'm very much gonna play. I'm gonna play the shit out of this game, and I don't usually play horror games. This one, I'm gonna play a little bit. This one seems more like an action game.
So Graham, did you know we're not sponsored here on Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions quite yet?
No, we're not. But that's okay. We sponsor ourselves. But
We sponsor ourselves. That is
Yeah.
entirely correct. So we like to drink when we drink and smoke when we smoke. So I'm gonna make myself another drink here. Last week I enjoyed the nice Manhattan, but this week I'm enjoying some rum, Bacardi rum, which I usually like Captain, but Bacardi is going to do the trick this afternoon. And throwing a little Dr. Pepper in there.
oh, a mixer.
Yeah.
A mixer.
You know what? Fuck it. Why
A
not?
mixer. Yeah.
So I'm having a little fun with that this afternoon. But what about you? What are you smoking?
Well, I'm smoking a little what I am certain is indica because of how I feel.
So you're not 100% sure you're just going by weed feel?
Absolutely. That's how a true stoner measures a weed's weight and gold.
Fair enough.
And so this one, and I apologize in advance, is named after an author and advocate of the marijuana movement, Jack Herrera. And let me tell you, it slaps.
Fair enough. Well, that's what we're drinking and smoking this afternoon. If you're interested in sponsoring us, let us know in the comments below.
Flintlock. What did you think of that?
This looked interesting. It looks like it looked like something out of like 1800s fantasy, not quite steampunk, but like steam fantasy. It was kind of like the first buzzword that kind of popped into my drunk head.
Immediately
But it also
reminded me of Horizon Zero Dawn, like in a fantasy way, like if it was fantasy instead of sci-fi.
Yeah, I guess one could say that. I didn't think that, but that's definitely a take. That's a high opinion right there. I got more Souls, like FromSoft's Dark Souls and Demon Souls vibes from it.
That was
like gameplay wise.
My note was Souls like in a fantasy Horizon Zero Dawn type world.
Yeah,
that was literally my note. So
I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I'll keep an eye on. I mean, I've got my Xbox and I got Game Pass, which, if I may interject for a minute, and disrupt the flow of talking about the games. Fucking hate Microsoft. Like, almost everything started or ended. I couldn't. It happened so often I couldn't even tell where in the trailer it fell, because it was just in everything. Out on day one on Game Pass. It's like, we fucking get it, dude.
Everything's out on Game Pass.
Like, tell us when it's not on day one Game Pass, because fucking. Yeah. I mean, like you said, we saw like 37 games, and probably 36 of them are like out on day one for Game Pass.
I don't know if you've heard, but since this Microsoft Bethesda showcase, it's been reported that actually since then, the new PlayStation Plus service has released, and one of their key services on that is the ability to get a 5-hour trial on many new games. And Xbox, within days of this coming out on PlayStation, announced that they were going to be doing the same. Xbox, we've talked about this before. I feel like PlayStation is hesitant to follow Xbox in trends. However, if PlayStation leads on a trend, Xbox is very quick and to jump on it and say, "Hey, if it works, it works." Um,
Which is a really good fucking idea because one of my biggest beefs, in the gaming industry nowadays is there's no plausible, easy way to try a game before you buy it. Video games now cost $60 to $70, per game, and like there's no more blockbusters except for that one in Bend, Oregon. There's like I grew up with a thing called Family Video. There was like Hollywood Video. There's so many like places to rent movies and games back in the 90s and early thousands, and they've all fucking died out. And like Redbox even for a time rented games, and maybe they still do, but like it had become very difficult to try a game before you buy it. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head that's a viable service is GameFly, but excuse me. My thought on that, like my frustration with that, is that's you have to like plan that out. You have to think about it like, okay, what game do I want to play tomorrow? Because it's going to take that day to ship to you.
yeah, yeah,
There's and yeah, we live in a talk about a first world problem, but like instant gratification. When I want to play, if I want to play a game, I kind of want to play it then and there. I'm not thinking on Thursday, what do I want to be playing Friday night? That's just not a thought that comes into my head. So I'm really I'm really excited for this thing that Sony's done with their new PlayStation Plus service and Microsoft that allows us to try games before we invest all this money in them.
yeah.
So I like that. Like shit, it used to be back in the day. This is probably before your time, Graham, because you're a youngin'. You could subscribe to various video game magazines, and they would come with a disc, a CD you could pop into your gaming console, and it would have like 6 trial games on it, or games themselves would have demos for other games on them.
Ooh, I remember.
You remember? You remember? Sorry, I forget that sometimes you're 23 and you don't remember the 90s.
I remember my family lived stably in the 90s until 2004. So by the time I was still living in the 90s until I was about 5.
Well, speaking of the 90s, when I was growing up in the 90s, I played with Legos. But it seems like the current generation is all about Minecraft. And I'm sorry, as you remember last episode, fuck Minecraft. I am not a fan of that.
That's a strong drunk thought. I'll give you. I disagree.
Not strong yet. You wait till my next drink.
I know. I disagree. I actually like Minecraft. But I get why you don't like it. But
I think it's a generational thing.
I agree. But I know a lot of people your age who enjoy it. So fuck generational things. Anyway.
Millennials.
Anyway.
But that was the new game they dropped. I know, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Anyway. This game, I like Minecraft.
Legends.
This game does not look fun. This looks like Stranger Things meets Minecraft. It looks like it's jumping on a trend. And whatever.
It's open world Minecraft.
It's open world
instead of it being just a sandbox, like, hey, let's give you a story.
Minecraft is open world.
But it's like story open world, video game open world, not creative open world.
Okay. Details.
Well, that's what the devil is, right?
Fair.
The devil's in the details.
Yeah, okay. I get you.
You high asshole.
I am high. That doesn't make... Okay, I am an asshole. I am high. That doesn't... Okay, never mind. You're right.
I'm sorry. Can I get that again, please? I need a clear phrasing for the trailer.
I am a high asshole.
Not what I was referring to, but I'll take it.
The next game that they showed after Minecraft's Legends was Lightyear Frontier, which kind of looked to me like Stardew Valley meets Space meets No Man's Sky.
So you're just showing your age by referring Stardew Valley. For me, for us people in the 30s and are old as balls, to me it was Harvest Moon in a mech suit
That's fair. Harvest Moon is a good game. I've played Stardew Valley
because
more.
yeah, Stardew Valley looks very good, but it's clearly inspired by Harvest Moon.
Yeah, of course. Um,
You know,
the entire
which
that
was
entire
inspired by like
genre,
Sim Farm. But
the
yeah, that
entire
genre.
genre.
But
But of course, because I've played more Stardew Valley, that's the thing that sprung to mind first. But it also had the
yeah,
first person aspect of like No Man's Sky. Wait, hold on.
Titanfall.
Yeah, Titanfall.
To me, it
What?
was like Harvest Moon meets Titanfall because you're in a mech suit
I
and
mean,
you're like watering plants.
yeah, yeah. It was like it was like Titanfall. It was like Titanfall if the characters retired in their mech suits. Yeah, that's actually okay.
They went the route of
That's
Thanos. They did the Thanos thing.
that's
They
my
just
new
was like, you know
lore.
what? Fuck it. I've done my business. I have conquered the world.
You've
I'm gonna
convinced me.
go
I'm
tend to
buying.
a garden.
You've convinced me. I'm gonna get this game, and that's gonna be my head canon. If they give me story, I'm gonna say fuck your story. I'm gonna.
If they let you customize your character, you're gonna be a big purple grimace.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, I was gonna roleplay as
Uh,
like Titanfall. I can do Thanos via Titanfall in
you
sure.
do you, brother.
Anyway, the next game they showed,
Gunfire Reborn.
Gunfire Reborn.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna jump the gun on that. I'm gonna just talk over you. Gunfire Reborn. I'm getting there with the rum, getting animated drunk.
You go there because I'm gonna have a lot to say about Last Case of Benedict Fox. Actually, no, I won't.
Yeah, that was another one. But Gunfire Reborn, and honestly, to me, it looked like the cutesy PG version of like Borderlands to me.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't have a lot of thoughts on this one.
That was about it. I was like, oh, it's cute. Oh, it's quirky. Oh, it's like it's just a first person
I
shooter.
literally my note was cartoony FPS.
Yeah, that's about
That's
it.
yeah.
So
However, the Last Case of Benedict Fox looked very interesting. It had a lot of different indie game vibes to it. Like
it did
Alan Wake.
like a
Um,
Metroidvania style.
yeah, it was a Metroidvania, but with lots of elements of some of like third person and first person games.
Was there a first person element to it? I didn't see that part.
No. What I was saying is that it was a Metroidvania that came from that had lots of aspects like in its world from games that came before that were in first person or in third person, like Control or Alan Wake or
Alan Wake was a third person
I know
game.
that's what I'm saying. These are third person games. They're the Vanishing of Edith Finch, which was a first person game. Like these are all games that I could easily tell like, oh, this took inspiration, and for all I know, I didn't see
Mm.
what studio was working on it. We'll have to fact check this, but I wouldn't be surprised if anybody from any of the games I listed who worked on those is working on this one.
It looked certainly interesting. It looked like a great little indie showcase. Which, just speaking of which, a little sidetrack. One thing I appreciated that Microsoft did versus the Sony State of Play, they peppered Microsoft peppered their showcase with indie games
Yeah.
versus Sony was like, hey, and here's our indie games, which kind of bad term, but segregates them. It kind of sets up that expectation that these are indie games and
Yeah.
to be thought of as indie games. But Microsoft is like, no, these are full on video games that are to be enjoyed, and they are just as important and to be looked at as the rest of our titles. You have Starfield, you got Minecraft, you got all these big games that everybody knows, and then we have these indie games, but they're kind of but they're just as important. So
Yeah.
they weren't separated; they were part of the showcase
Absolutely.
as a whole.
Benedict Fox got probably maybe more screen time in its reveal than Microsoft's Flight Simulator, including the Halo DLC.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a pretty
it
long
was like a
trailer, and it looked
three. It was
fun.
like
It had a like
3 minutes of.
jazzy's 20s
Yeah, I
vibe,
really liked it. It,
very
it was like
intriguing.
a 20s 30s like horror, and I'm all about
Yeah,
that. I'm all about, especially if it's Metroidvania, because that's
little
no jump scares.
murder mystery with his father in there, and like you're exploring your father's memories.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's what remains of Edith Finch, not what you said
What
something
remains of
else.
Edith Finch? I'm thinking
So
of the vanishing of Ethan Carter. That's the one. Uh,
yeah, so I was like, wait a minute, what vanished of Edith Finch? I was like, that doesn't sound right,
yeah,
but yeah, what
yeah.
remains? But um, talking of interesting storylines, the next game, As Dusk Falls,
This one had me
didn't really do
intrigued.
anything for me,
Had me
but
intrigued.
it definitely was intriguing. Like it's a game. It looked like it kind of falls onto those. What company is that? The one that does like Beyond Two Souls. Is that Take Two Entertainment?
I think so. I
I could be wrong.
I
Fact
I
check that.
forget.
I'm sure commentators will tell her that I'm an
Yeah.
asshole and I'm wrong. I mean, I'm an asshole all the time, so we'll move on from that. But very interactive story with an emergent branching story with multiple, ideas. So it looked
Yeah.
certainly
They
fun with a
said
really cool motion
they
graphic
said it's written
style.
like a TV show. So I get the sense
Yeah,
that it's going to play out like a show with you just making the certain decisions for characters like A or
it's like one of those
B.
choose your own adventure
It's
books.
going to be a
Remember
choose
those
your
back in
own
the day?
adventure book, and it says 1 to 8 players. So my
And now that was
so
interesting because like we didn't see any gameplay, so it's like how the hell do you get
my
multiplayer in there?
guess is that if it is in fact a branching narrative, like picture book game, that it's going to give you like 8 key characters, and
Yeah,
if you get 8 people together, each person can choose a character to
their own
play,
decisions.
and they'll make their own decisions, and then every
Yeah.
single time you play you'll have something totally different because you have 8 different people playing and
See, that is a
doing.
very valid theory, and I like it. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But it also makes me kind of sad. I mean, I wasn't planning on playing this anyway, but at the same time, if I wanted to play it, I don't have 7 friends.
I'll be your 7 friends.
Are you just gonna sit there with like 7 controllers and like a fucking Wizard of Oz
Hold on.
bullshit?
Let's
And,
get
like
Justin Roiland in here.
control all the
Let's get Justin
weapons?
Roiland in here and have his team animate me a bunch more.
Yeah. All right. So we got Justin Roiland and you, my 2 best friends. I still need 5 more, Graham. Naraka.
Baraja Blade Point. Oh,
Naraja. Where'd you get that?
I autocorrect.
Naraka.
Naraka.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I was wondering. I was like, I don't remember that one. Naraka Blade.
Naraka, you high asshole.
Autocorrect. I blame my phone for that one.
I blame Apple.
PC exclusive battle royale coming to consoles starting with X. Oh
It
yeah,
didn't look
that one.
very PC to me.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did there. This game, it's a battle royale, and I've never found a battle royale that tickled my fancy. I've always tried them, and they all kind of sucked. But that's just me.
I will hand it to this one, considering you got the more popular battle royals right now with like Fortnite
Ugh.
and Battleground. What is it? Player Unknown Battlegrounds or whatever. What's it called?
PUBG, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
PUBG.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even like For Honor, which I think has been turned into not quite a battle royale, but that's mostly
Yeah.
PvP combat.
Yeah.
This one certainly, if there was any game to get me into a battle royale, this would be it because it looked really cool in the sense of like mystical martial arts and shit going on.
Yeah.
The kicker with battleground games that I really don't like is it's all mostly shooting, which means pinpoint accuracy, meaning you're gonna just get sniped from across the fucking map, and
Yeah.
some 12-year-old is gonna just go into your microphone and be like neener neener neener, and you're like, fuck you, kid. This one looked more up close and personal, like For Honor, and that seemed interesting. I have no intention of playing it, but I'm just saying that it looked cool.
Yeah, that's fair. It does look cool, and I will agree with you on that. But it didn't
Yeah.
didn't catch my.
It
But
didn't blow my sphere.
Pentiment looked very interesting.
To me, this looked more like the Curse of Monkey Island or whatever that Lucas game is. It looked like a lot of old school point and click
Yes.
PC games from like the 90s.
Yes, that
Which but set in like a
yeah,
like
that's
a
what the gameplay
medieval
felt
Renaissance.
like to me. I was just saying that it kind of felt like in the same vein where these games are starting to go very, very backwards, just to like give you that nostalgia of playing old fashioned games with new perspective, new technology.
And you're talking about Pentiment, right?
Pentiment, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just kind of like
Now, Grounded.
Grounded was just kind of goofy, and I liked it.
Grounded to me, just like the only thing missing from that trailer was a shot of Rick Moranis.
Yeah,
Graham, have you ever seen Honey, I Shrunk the
I've
Kids?
never seen it. I know Rick Moranis for Ghostbusters,
I'm
and
gonna take a minute.
and Spaceballs.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. All
Sorry,
right.
I have to recenter myself after dealing with your ass sometimes. Hold on. Take a drink.
You take your drink. I'm gonna grab my bong.
You grab that bong, and I'm going to tell the folks about
I
Grounded.
will.
Grounded very much looked like it was straight out of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. We've got a scenario, a bunch of kids who are lost in the backyard dealing with a claptrap robot, but it looked like a vastly entertaining game. It looked like a totally new world perspective, you know. And it was like, it honestly, it looked like they set out to make Honey, I Shrunk the Kids the game, but they just didn't get the rights, so they made it its own thing, which is perfectly fine. If memory serves, they're remaking that movie, and Josh Gad is going to play the Rick Moranis role. After Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the game, aka Grounded, we got Erebon. You see this one? What do you think of this one?
This one looked
Erebon
cool.
Shadow Legacy. Sorry.
Excuse me. This one looked cool. This one looked.
It did look cool, right? Erebon looks really cool. Kind of like a Shadow Warrior mixed with stealth. A lot of like, almost like Assassin's Creed with like supernatural abilities. Callback a little more, kind of like Dishonored, like we were discussing earlier.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited for this game. Definitely something to keep an eye on. It looks pretty dope.
Yeah, I would definitely check this game out. I would play a 5-hour trial of it.
Talk about Diablo 4.
Okay. Who gives a shit anymore? Really? Diablo 4. So Diablo Immortal came out about
the mobile game, right?
Yeah, it's about 20 days ago. Do you guys even have phones? So that game came out finally, like 4 years after the whole "do you guys not even have phones" debacle? And it released, and at the very first just like thin layer, you're like, is this a good game? First like thin layer, the first like 5 like levels, and I mean like your character levels up, which is the first 10 minutes of the game.
Say the tutorial.
The tutorial. You're like, hey, the combat is good. It feels smooth. This game feels like Diablo. This could be good. And then it hits you with just this stone cold steel fist called the
Reality.
store.
Money grabbing.
Called the microtransaction bullshit. I hate it.
It's funny because it's true.
I hate it to its very core. I downloaded it. I wanted it to be good. I was like, you know what? Maybe after their whole "do you guys not have phones" debacle, that they were going to say, you know what? We're going to turn this around. We're going to make a great game. We're going to make an awesome game that people are going to say, shit, why did we ever question them? And they had me for 5 minutes and then lost me at the 6th.
I decided to avoid it, but I was a huge fan of Diablo 3. I love that game. I even Diablo 2, I've played through that. I've played through a little bit of 1. I haven't beaten that one, but it's part of the quintessential 3 of Blizzard. I mean, they started with Lost Vikings, but then they came out with 3 franchises that have stood the test of time: Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo. And it, say what you want, but those 3 games have proven themselves to be fantastic running games. And so with Diablo 4, I'm cautiously optimistic. You know, they introduced the Necromancer class, which I love that. I love the Death Knight class in Warcraft. So Necromancer just seems like a great follow up, especially because this one's now more open world. There's a lot more character customization. And then my favorite part of the whole showcase was the emergence of Rod Ferguson, who we know him originally as the director of the Gears of War games for quite some time. Just a fantastic individual. You and I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple years
Yes, we
ago, and
did.
just what a great guy.
He was a really,
you know.
really nice guy. Yeah.
So to see him, succeeding, after the career change, moving away from the Coalition and joining Blizzard, to see him up on the screen introducing this was just a nice little moment for me. Let me do that again for just posterity.
Yeah,
but
I needed to hear it. I just
I'm not going to do
wasn't
it
gonna
again
ask. I wasn't gonna ask.
though.
I
No,
knew you
no.
would if I
So
did. I wasn't going to, but I respect you for doing it a second time of your own.
I know what the ladies like. You know what I'm saying?
Do they? Do they? All right.
That's why I record a podcast on Sunday nights alone.
You got me there.
Yep, exactly.
Anyway,
so I'm excited. I'm personally excited for Diablo 4, but I can get.
I want you to.
It's about. I segment
4.
the game away from the company. You have the opinion of the company, which we all well know.
I want you to be
you're not
excited
a fan of.
for Diablo 4. I unfortunately have some terrible news that might crush those hopes. Within 3 days of Diablo Immortal's release, a job sighting was seen for a full-time store manager for Diablo 4.
Well, of course, there's going to be a store. It's Activision. They're money-grubbing assholes.
And after Immortal's store, I am very, very hesitant to see what is going to happen with 4.
We'll see.
So
I'm not going to buy Diablo 4 at launch. I'll give it a couple of months, if not years, before I try it.
You know what?
To see how it evolves.
You know
but
what?
just the idea of it is exciting.
You know where I stand on this. But moving on, the next game on our list is Sea of Thieves.
Ravenlock.
Ravenlock.
Well,
right.
we talked about Sea of Thieves.
We already
so
talked about Sea of Thieves.
We already talked about Sea of Thieves, the jaunty tune they announced with. So don't.
The next game on our list is Ravenlock.
I'm gonna leave that in. Fuck you. I'm leaving that in. Just to be a dick. I thought we had pretty nice graphical transitions last time. Nope, from now on, that's gonna be the transition.
Oh, no.
That's the sound effect.
What have I done?
We've just lost any and all subscribers.
The 5 we had have unsubscribed as we're recording this.
Yeah. Down to 0.
Anyway,
Ravenlock though. Alice in Wonderland meets Legend of Zelda meets Minecraft. That was what I had. Those are my drunk thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I think I have nothing more to add.
That's a first.
Yeah, no, you described it perfectly. You had more notes than I did.
All right, Cocoon then. Let's talk about Cocoon, about a little character coming out of an onion vagina.
This one looked really cute. It kind of reminded me of Gris, a game that I've played. Gris. I don't know whatever it's called. Which is a very nice little art game where you unlock more colors as you do different levels, and it becomes a more and more rich world. But it also reminded me of Hyperlight Drifter. Hyperlight Drifter is a very, very fun, interesting world, and its top-down world kind of reminded me of what they were doing here with a slight 3D tinge to it, with the same artistic kind and puzzle style or thought as Gris. And so that intrigued me because I like both those games, and I'd like to see where this one goes.
Okay, well put. Wulong, Fallen Dynasty. The new game, the new IP announced from Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja, most famous for games like Dynasty Warriors and Ninja Gaiden. Um,
I have a
this looked
I have a
interesting. I don't
hot
know. They didn't show much
I have a
gameplay.
hot high
So,
opinion on this one. Hot take.
oh, snap, crackle,
Hot
and pop. What
take.
you got, buddy?
It looks like a Team Ninja game. No, no, no,
That's not really a
no, no,
hot
no.
take because it is
No,
a Team
no, no,
Ninja
no.
game.
That's what I mean. No, no, no. I know it's a Team Ninja game. It looks like a Team Ninja game. That's all I have to say. It's like From
So
Software.
you're
It's like
marijuana addle the brain.
yes,
A game that's developed by a company looks like that same company.
yes. It's like From Software. I was like, that's all my note. It's one of those games. It's probably gonna be good. It's like
Right.
From Soft. You know, most like
yeah. I
90,
mean, you know what you're gonna
90
get when you get a Team Ninja
exactly
game.
with Team Ninja and From Soft. 90% of the time, you're gonna
Get what you expect.
get what you expect exactly. Sometimes you're not, like Dark Souls 2.
We don't talk about
We
that
don't
one.
talk about that one.
There's Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, and Bloodborne, and nothing else.
But
well, Elden Ring. But anyway.
Anyway, what did you think of Wolong?
Since we didn't really see much gameplay, it was more just like cutscenes and exposition material. I like the world aesthetic. You know, I do enjoy those like Chinese martial arts, and I mean, Team Ninja was responsible for games like Neo,
Yes.
which I've played through, and I really like Neo. So this one has me optimistic. I mean, it's of course going to be a solid game. Like, it's just a matter of the gameplay style because as much as I enjoyed Neo, I could poke faults in it. Same with like Team Ninja's take on Final Fantasy with their Strangers of Paradise, which also is a very good game, but there's things that I just don't enjoy, such as like mission-based overworld menus, where it's like, hey, you finish that one mission, you go back to the overworld, and you have another mission, and that's how like the story progresses. I'm not a fan of that, especially Final Fantasy. Like, Final Fantasy is meant to be a game where you explore the world and land and not land, but like, can go to different spots. And
so having Strangers,
it's not meant to be that linear.
So having Strangers of Paradise be like a level to level sort of thing was. I agree with.
And same with Neo. Neo, I love the combat and I love the world. I love the aesthetic and I love the idea of a Scotsman becoming a samurai. Mm-hmm. But the story was so hard to follow because it was just little bite-sized chunks of cutscenes and then like menu-based exposition that just didn't work for me. Yeah. So I'm hoping maybe they've changed their ways and Mulong doesn't follow that same trend, but knowing Team Ninja, no, that's probably not the case. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
From there, we had
Persona 3, 4, and Persona 5
games. Yeah, Alice.
Are finally coming to Xbox.
3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, and 5.
That's what I said.
There's 3 portable.
4 for the PlayStation 3, and then 5 for the PlayStation 4 are now all coming to Xbox. These games are iconic. Every single one of them is an iconic game in an iconic franchise. And they've
JRPG style.
Classic JRPG style with a very, very interesting world. I've played chunks of each of them. My brother has played maybe 500, 600 hours of Persona 5 through 3 or 4 different save files.
Jesus.
Loves the game. It's practically a book that he's reread at this point, with like multiple different alternate endings and routes. So it's just a great game that people love, and people have been wanting it to come to Xbox. It's classically been just a solely PlayStation game, and so this announcement was a wonderful surprise to a lot of people.
So in that same vein, actually, Microsoft took the time to highlight this, and it's something that I thought was very interesting. So for those who don't know, Microsoft is obviously it's an American company, and Xbox is not a very popular console worldwide.
True.
Most of their market share is United States and Canadian, Mexico, North America.
Yeah.
They do not have a strong presence in Japan and the rest of the world. Like, like Sony and Nintendo do, which are both Japanese based
Yeah.
companies. So they took the time to highlight the fact that they have several developers that are producing games for Xbox, and I kind of I dug that. I thought that was really a nice turn of events because they've just struggled so hard. Microsoft has struggled so hard to break into that Japanese market,
Yeah.
and by bringing Persona and Team Ninja into the fold, and then following the reveal of the Persona games, we had a nice little not a game reveal, but a nice an announcement that a game is in development by Kojima Productions, headed by Hideo Kojima-san himself. And I thought that was really nice.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was a nice, like that's good. It's nice that they're breaking into that world market, that they're
Hmm.
expanding, and to have Kojima on their side is fantastic. I mean, that man since the mid '90s, early '90s with Metal Gear Solid, and most lately Death Stranding has just done fantastic things for video
Yeah.
games.
He's
So
one of maybe 5 or 6 video game developers or directors who are actually considered true artists.
yeah,
And many consider him to be the greatest video game artist of all time. My reaction to his saying I'm doing this thing was Hideo Kojima is still Hideo Kojima, and he is very much into
oh yeah,
himself. He loves himself, and he loves the idea that he has become this icon. I think he's somebody who never expected ever that a video game developer would get this kind of attention. He's just like some weird guy who wanted to make video games, and all of a sudden like famous actors and filmmakers want to hang out with him, they want to talk to him, they want to like share their ideas with him and get his ideas back. Just like they just want to hear from him, they want to interact with him and get to know him because they know that he will inspire something in them. Many people have talked about that. He's a weird person, and I don't think he ever expected that he would become this famous, and so he's just like, I'm going with it. He's like, bow down. I am Hideo.
me,
I am
me.
Hideo Kojima. Every time he makes an announcement, all I see is him saying, I am Hideo Kojima.
All right, so the last game we're going to talk about on today's Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions is Starfield, the latest IP announced from Bethesda Studios. Most notably, they're known for their medieval game, the Elder Scrolls, like Morrowind and Oblivion and Skyrim, as well as their contemporary apocalyptic games, Fallout. Both of which I'm not huge fans of, so I don't know much about these games. But Graham here has played many of Bethesda's IPs and has some strong high opinions of them. So we're going to introduce a new segment here on Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions called Graham's High Minded Minute, where he just unleashes. So, Graham, take it away.
Okay. So the fucking problem with Todd Howard, my God, every single time he announces a game, he's like, "This is the biggest game that's ever happened." It's true of like Morrowind. It's true of Oblivion. It's true of Skyrim, Fallout 4, and then Starfield comes out, and he's like, "This game is the biggest thing you've ever looked at in your entire life." And he is just like filled to the brim with just horniness and orgasm juice. He's just ready to explode. He's so ready for his game to be unleashed. He's like, "Please experience my game. I am so ready for you to see me as a god. I am a god. I am a golden god." And then the game comes out and it kind of fucking sucks, actually, in perspective. Like, I love all of Bethesda games, but let's be honest, they're not great games. Morrowind, if you look back at it, even in 2002, you're like, there's a lot more like grounded stuff. And this Morrowind's my one of my top 3 favorite games of all time. Oblivion is my golden book. I Everything goes back to that. I played that game as a kid, and it just sparked a bug for fantasy and my love. in my brain for and I love fantasy because of it. Fucking I love Oblivion. I love Bethesda, Skyrim. I put thousands of hours into playing that in multiple systems. I've paid for that game so many times. I love Bethesda. I love all their games, but also they kind of suck. Let's be
They
honest.
suck.
And Todd Howard is kind of the Dennis Reynolds of game developers. Like he fucking
Oh damn.
he just straight up like sees himself as like I
Jesus.
am he wants to be Hideo Kojima. As we talked about earlier, Hideo Kojima loves himself. He is he and I think he
The
saw
heck
it.
you say?
I think he saw it like unexpectedly that people would love him. And Todd Howard, I think, got just a tiny bug of that when Oblivion came out and was like, "Ooh, people like me." And then Skyrim came out and he was like, "Ooh, people really like me." And then he was like, "Yes!" And Fallout 4 came out and was like, "Oh,
Oh, maybe they don't like me so much.
So anyway, Starfield, I am this game was this was peak Todd Howard Golden God play my game reveal. He was so excited for this. I thought I saw him quivering on stage.
It was
Um
some self-fellatio action going on there.
yeah, so 1,000 planets over 100 systems. Um uh you know what this reminds me of? Elder Scrolls 1 Arena. And here's why. Because they recently announced that it's not going to be a flowing thing. You're not going to be just going, okay, I can fly into the planet and then come back out and then fly seamlessly to another planet, go into that, and then I can fly seamlessly to another system. Obviously, because that would be really, really hard. I get that.
I mean, isn't that what No Man's Sky did?
That is what No Man's Sky did. But
The heck you say?
yeah,
A game that came out in 2018?
I know, right? And so it's kind of fucking weird that they're just like, look how good we are. Look how amazing this is going to be. And then it's turning out to be a lot like Elder Scrolls 1 Arena, where it was this massive, massive continent, all these places to go. Every city in the entire known lore is on the map. You can go to every single one of them. You can go to all the caves, but they're all kind of the same. They're all just bland towns with nothing to do, and the same armories, and the same mages guild, and the same fighters guild, and they all give you the same two quests. Go fight that rat in that room. Go kill those two goblin necromancers. Do it my will. Bring me the thing. Especially in Daggerfall, but that's more. A,
I was gonna say, where did
a,
that accent come from?
like in they as they progressed they really wanted it to become very British, especially in Daggerfall and Morrowind, and then they were like, wait, no, we wanted to go the opposite direction. We wanted to be more like Norse, and they just kind of fucked with the lore because it switched from the original creators, because the original
Because video
yeah,
games.
the original creators went off and were kicked out of the company or just left of their own. I don't know exactly what happened, but they left, and so now it's just like Todd Howard's baby. He's like, this is my world now, and the creators are off like, whatever. We're doing our own things now.
Fair enough.
So that was my high-minded minute.
Well, Graham, that was certainly some high opinions on Starfield and Bethesda and Todd Howard.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and you had some drunk thoughts on Forza back there. And
Well, we're talking ska music.
we're talking ska music, yeah, of course, but
Fucking A.
I will fight you. And I know.
No, you won't.
Yeah. Yeah,
You'll run away like a little high bitch. Don't argue.
that's true. I am, but that's
That
only
is true.
because I'm very non-confrontational. But in the name of ska,
Pacifistic high asshole.
in the name of anti-ska, I will fight. I will fight.
Well, we'll have to settle that
We'll
off
have to
screen.
settle-
But this but for this night, let's wrap it up for the wonderful viewers that have stuck with us through 2 episodes. So thank you so much for joining us on the second episode of Drunk Thoughts and High Opinions. If you've liked what you've heard, or You like to get drunk or you like to get high and you got your own thoughts and opinions, please feel free to let them flow on the below comments and like and subscribe and hit us up
Yeah.
because who knows.
And once again, my name is Graham. This is my good friend Corey, and we thank you for joining us tonight. Have a great one.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.